Hey fam, welcome back to Real Talk with Pastor Liana. So excited you guys are joining us today. Today I'm gonna be a little bit more transparent than I have been in the past couple of episodes. So last time we talked about setting goals, but today I wanna talk about how do you achieve those goals in the midst of pain or midst of difficult circumstances, or at least I'm gonna share with you a moment in my life and how I overcame. March 29, 2013, I'm sitting in the dining room of my house. I get a phone call from my mom. All she says to me is, Lily, I tried to resuscitate your dad. And immediately I flipped out because I knew that try meant it was unsuccessful. So in the midst of that time that my dad had passed, I had to eulogize my dad. I was still a youth pastor at the time, and there was just a lot of responsibilities in my life. But on the other side of the funeral is really when it's the most difficult. So the funeral's done, people have, given their condolences and all that stuff, but now you're in the middle of a very painful set of circumstances and you're kind of alone and you're still left with the life that you have to live. You don't get to just lay down and do nothing. So in the middle of dealing with the pain and the grief and the loss of my father, I was writing a book and I just felt like I didn't have the strength, I didn't have the courage, I didn't have the energy to write the book. And I was just really sad a lot and I just didn't have a lot of strength. And someone gave me a devotional. Actually, I have an example of it here. I don't know if you heard of Sarah Young, but she's written this devotional called Jesus Today. She's also written a dope devotional called Jesus Calling. So what I would do is I decided, Liana, put that devotional in a place that you're probably gonna be every single day of your life, which was my car. So I left the devotional in my car. And every day, every morning, I would just get up and I would read an insert from that devotional every morning. And it would just fill me with a little bit more courage, a little bit more strength. And then also, I started to read this book right here called Start. So the devotional was more to help my heart and my mind spiritually have the nourishment that it needed just for that day to keep going. But this book, Start, it literally was just that. Every chapter of this book talked about how do you just start? How do you just gain the momentum to move forward? Because I didn't have the resources inside of me. Sometimes you need to reach outside of yourself to get the resources that you need, the encouragement, the motivation, the tools, the strategies, the tactics you need to keep going. So I had my devotional and I had this book. And every day I would read a chapter or a page from that book. And it would just help me to keep going. And then I would just write something every day. It may have been a paragraph. It may have been a page. I would just push through because that devotional and that book gave me the added strength that I needed to keep going. The third resource that I had was my therapist. I know some people think, therapy means something's wrong with you. Listen, going to therapy helped me to deal with my grief. It helped me to deal with emotions I didn't even know I was having. It helped me to process. And because I was able to unload in therapy, I was empty from all of that excess baggage and I was able to focus. And I don't know if you've ever heard anyone say, you gotta press through the pain. What I realized was painful circumstances sometimes give us what we need to pour it all into our project. Sometimes when you're overwhelmed by the pain, I have friends that are songwriters. Sometimes they say, you know what? I just put my pain into my art. And that's what it was able to produce for me. The pain helped me to push in and to write. And so as a result, I was able to produce this bad boy right here, Monday Never Comes. So like I said, it's not easy. It doesn't come without pain. It doesn't mean just because you have the strategy to create a goal that you have the strength to produce the goal. So these resources, sometimes, like I said, you got to reach outside of yourself. These resources helped to give me the strength that I needed. The resources were what? My devotional, my book called Start that I read by John Acuff. That book is very simple, but it helped me. And my human resource called my therapist. Those three things helped me to produce my goal, which was finishing this book, Monday Never Comes. So maybe you are in the middle of trying to push through a goal, but you realize I'm overwhelmed, I'm depressed, I'm in pain, and you need some external resources. Maybe try using the resources that I use to help you get to the other side of your goal so that you can see the fruit of your labor. I hope that my transparency, my pain, talking about dealing with the death of my father helped you to realize that you're not alone in your pain, and that this week's episode gives you the strength and the encouragement that you need to fight for your goals. So go get those extra resources and tune in next week with Real Talk with Pastor Liana. And follow us on social media at @thereal_ministry for ongoing support. Thank you, and I will see you next time.